For decades, we have been told that when it comes to blood pressure, there is only one magic number, 120/80. But if you are over 60, I need you to listen very carefully. Chasing that perfect number might be the most dangerous thing you can do for your brain, your balance, and your independence. Most people think blood pressure is black and white. You are either normal or high. But as a doctor, I can tell you the truth. Blood pressure is the most personal number in all of medicine. Let me show you what I mean. Two people can walk into my clinic with the exact same blood pressure reading of 118/72. For the first person, that number is a massive success. Their heart is protected. But for the second person, that exact same number is a disaster. They are experiencing brain fog, morning dizziness, and they feel like they might pass out every time they stand up. Why? Because the guidelines only tell you what category you fall into. They do not tell you if that number is actually safe for your specific body. You see, a number doesn't tell us if your brain is getting enough oxygen. It doesn't tell us how stiff your arteries are, or if your kidneys can handle the 4 different medications you are taking to keep that number low. Today, we are going to throw away the one-size-fits-all rulebook. I am going to show you the exact framework I use for my own patients. We are going to find your personal ideal blood pressure target based on your age, your health, and your vitality. Let's get started. To understand why your doctor is so obsessed with lowering your numbers, we have to look at two massive studies, the SPRINT trial and the STEP trial. The 2015 SPRINT trial studied thousands of older adults. They split people into two groups, a standard group aiming for less than 140 and an intensive group aiming for less than 120. The headlines screamed that the 120 group had fewer heart attacks. And that is technically true. But almost nobody talks about the fine print. That same intensive group also saw a dramatic increase in kidney failure, electrolyte imbalances, and dangerous fainting spells. Furthermore, do you know who they didn't include in that study? They excluded people with diabetes. They excluded people who had already suffered a stroke. They excluded anyone with dementia or advanced frailty. In other words, that 120 target was only tested on the strongest, healthiest older adults in the world. If you have other health conditions, or if your arteries have naturally become a bit stiffer over time, which is a normal biological process, forcing that pressure down is like closing a faucet when the garden is desperately thirsty. Your brain needs that pressure to fight gravity and push blood all the way up. So, how do you know if your pressure is too low for you? Your body doesn't read medical manuals, but it sends very clear signals. If you feel dizzy when you stand up, what we call orthostatic hypotension, that isn't just a random dizzy spell. That is your brain screaming that it isn't getting enough fuel. If you have constant brain fog, unexplained morning fatigue, or if your blood tests show your potassium and creatinine levels are starting to creep up, your medications are likely winning the battle against the number, but losing the war for your health. Remember, a fall at age 70 due to a dizzy spell is far more dangerous than having a systolic pressure of 135. Hip fractures and head injuries change lives forever. We cannot sacrifice your safety for a statistical graph. Here's the exact framework I use with my patients in my private practice. Take notes, because this is what you need to discuss with your doctor at your next appointment. If you are between 60 and 79, active and independent, your ideal target is usually less than 130/80. It's a perfect balance between heart protection and energy. If you are over 60 but struggle with dizziness, frailty, or take many medications, stop chasing 130. A target of 140/90 is often much safer and more realistic to prevent falls. If you are over 80, your body has changed. Staying between 130 and 150 is usually the sweet spot where your brain stays sharp and your kidneys stay healthy. Chasing lower numbers only makes sense if you actually feel good. If the treatment makes you feel like a sick person, then the treatment is not working. My mission with this channel is for you to stop being a passive spectator of your health and start being the CEO of your own body. If you want to dive deeper and learn how to lower your pressure naturally so you can depend less on pharmaceuticals, I've prepared something for you. I've designed my blood pressure reset guide, a 49-page document with meal plans, evidence-based supplements, and specific exercises. You can find the link in the description below. Before you go, I want to make a pact. Stop ignoring the whispers of your body. If you feel dizzy, speak up. Do not accept it's just old age. Subscribe to Dr. Anya Health 60 Plus so we can keep exploring how to live with dignity and strength. I'll see you in the next masterclass.